Hi, this is Nancy Alvarado's classroom management video. Okay, first and foremost, this is what I would do to introduce myself to my future students for this incoming school year. 1. If I had access to my incoming students' home addresses, I would love to send postcards ahead of time, say like during the summer, to introduce myself and show them how eager and excited I am to be their teacher for this coming year. However, if that's not possible, I would make sure that my school has like a meet and greet teacher parent night before school starts. That way I can hopefully get as many kids and parents in. That way I can introduce myself and let the parents and the students know what to expect for this coming year. Make it exciting and fun. Okay, with that being said, this is what I would do. For the first day of school, I would have a seating chart or have my students' names on their tables already. So that way when they do come in, I can greet them at the door and say, "Good morning." As soon as you walk in, look for your names on your desks. And I've seen this with my own eyes. Kids do get excited, like, "Oh, let's find my name, and then they'll find their name, and that's where they sit. Okay, the first day of school, I'm gonna have not rules, my norms. This is what's to be expected in our classroom, because it's not only mine, it's my students, it's our classroom. What happens in my classroom or our classroom is different from someone else's classroom, of course. So norms, routines, this is what's going to happen every morning. They're going to come in quietly, put up their belongings, backpacks, jackets, and so forth in their proper place, have a seat at their desk. Their journals will be waiting for them, and I'm going to have a journal assignment written on the board. And then as soon as they come in, they're going to get seated quietly, put up their stuff, and start writing on their journals. As the students are coming in, they can still be working on it as I'm taking roll and so forth. That's one of the morning routines that I would love to happen starting on the first day of school. That way they know what to expect every single morning, what I expect of them every single morning. Okay, with that being said, let me see. Other different norms. I would expect my students to respect one another, be very respectful, very responsible, have their tools, I would say, like pencils, paper, their supplies ready to go, ready to learn. And also, this is a big one to me. Treat others as you would like to be treated. I live by that rule. I've lived by that rule for many years, and I would love to see that instilled into my students. As far as discipline, if someone's getting out of hand or they need to be reminded of the norms in our classroom, I would give them a warning at first, remind them what it is, because if they need a reminder, I will have these norms, posted on a big poster in front of the classroom, and, to show them what's to be expected in our classroom. And of course, I would love to have some kind of feedback in the beginning of the school year as these norms are being handled and how I'm explaining what each of them means. I would like to have their feedback as well and their help into that. So at the second time, if the child is being unruly or disruptive, I will call their parents. Usually, a lot of times, the calling to the parents won't happen until after the 4th or 5th time they've misbehaved. I don't believe in that. I believe letting the parents know ahead of time, what's happening in my classroom, in our classroom. The third time would be loss of time at recess. I know kids love and look forward to recess. If I take some of that time away from their recess, hopefully they'll learn not to do it again, because who wants time away from recess? That's like something that they look forward to every day, even though it shouldn't be, but it is. And then the fourth time would go to the principal. As far as positive calls and negative calls, I think there can be a little bit of both. More positive than negative, of course. Positive calls can be, say, if a student is struggling as far as with their behavior, with the lesson, and so forth, I would pull them aside first to see what's going on and let them know I expect high expectations of them. Therefore, they need to expect high expectations for themselves. And if they need a little help with a lesson, I can help them with that too. If I see improvement after that, and if they show improvement, they would get those positive. Their parents would get a positive calls from me saying, "Hey, this is what's happening. Your child is getting on the right track," and then the positive phone calls are in order. Negative phone calls, if it comes down to it, yeah, parents will be called. Okay. As far as nonverbals, well, I would like to let them know ahead of time if someone's being disruptive, being loud. This is what I've seen in other schools, and it's worked. I've seen teachers put their finger up to their mouth, like quiet. I've even practiced that in my own kids, and they know what that means. The stare. Of course, I do that at home too. I try to. Attention getters. This one also I've seen work, and I think I would like to implement that in my classroom. If, say, I'm in a classroom or in a crowd in a cafeteria, and if I'm trying to get attention of the child, I would say, if you can hear my voice, clap once. And for those of the kids that are not being talkative and they can hear me say that once, they would clap once. And then the rest of the students that were talking during this time would notice, like, oh, they're clapping. That means we need to, settle down and be quiet. And then after the first time I say that, after the first clap, and then again, I would say, if you can hear my voice, clap twice. And pretty soon I'll have the rest of everybody clapping twice. And that's how I would get their attention. As far as proximity, if I have students in my classroom who are talking during my lesson or not paying attention, I would walk real close by to let them know I'm on point, I'm watching you, and I'm not backing down, kind of thing. And hopefully that will work. Okay, and then at the end of the day, and I've seen this being done, and I enjoy this, and I would like to use that as well in my classroom. At the end of the day, I would have little helpers or monitors. A lot of the times elementary students like to feel like they're important or they're needed or they want to help. So might as well put them to work, right? Okay. So I would have maybe 7 or 8 different jobs for them to do. Say, like, I would have somebody be a backpack person, someone who can pass out everybody's backpack. Graded assignments, I'll have someone hand out their papers back. Restroom monitor, have one for a girls' restroom, one for boys. The computer monitor, make sure all the computers are turned off, shut down properly. Pencil sharpeners must be cleaned out. The door holder, at the end of the day, as soon as students are lined up, someone's there to hold the door. And clean the floor monitor. Make sure all the trash is picked up and put in its proper place. So every Friday, I would ask the students, okay, one individually, what job would you like to do? Get their feedback. Oh, well, I want to be floor monitor starting next week. Okay, go have your name on the chart. Have a chart somewhere, and that's their name. They're the floor monitor starting Monday. That following week, they're going to be the floor monitor for that week, and so forth. And I would ask each child, okay, well, what would you like to do? And then if that job's not taken, they can take that one, and so forth. I think that works. So that's my classroom management so far. I hope it works, and I thank you so much